حاضري أنت هاد وصفي يا حبيبي يا محمد يا نبي سلام عليك يا رسول سلام عليك يا حبيب سلام عليك صلوات الله عليك.
Today we bring to you one of such topics, and that is child adoption. I'm sure you are probably very excited to hear that. You have really wanted to clarify some of those things that you've heard about child adoption in Islam, and today is your lucky day because we have in the studio one of our erudite scholars who will be doing justice to that topic, inshallah. Before we go deep into the topic, let's take this short break. We'll be back soon.
إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والقانتين والقانتات والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشعين والخاشعات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين فروجهم والحافظات والذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات أعد الله لهم مغفرة وأجرا عظيما.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm your host Bushro Olaguju, and to join me in the studio is like I said, an erudite scholar. She is an educationist, she's a mother, she's a teacher, and she's going to be taking us through this important topic for today, child adoption. Join me as I welcome Haji Akudro Mahmoud. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Ma, for coming around. We've been seeing your face a number of times on the program. We really appreciate your coming around. So today it's child adoption. Of course, like I always say, on this program, The Virtuous Woman, we always try to point out to people that Islam is a very comprehensive religion. It talks about everything. But do you still think that there is anything that Islam wants to talk about under child adoption that the Western hasn't taken care of?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil mursalin Sayyidina Muhammad
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam
wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. All praise is due to Allah. I ask for his blessings on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his household, his companions, and all those who tread his path to the day of reckoning. Child adoption in Islam is referred to as kafala, meaning sponsorship. Literally, it's referred to as kafala, and it comes from that root word, which means to feed. That's why sometimes it is referred to as foster parenting. That is, when one promises to undertake the upkeep, education, and protection of a minor, just like a father will do to his son.
Okay.
This is child adoption in Islam. And it implies that the adoptive father will take care of the son or the daughter, just like he will take care of his own children. The areas where it differs from the child adoption practiced by the West are: one, in Islam, the fact that one adopts a child does not mean that that child will change his family name. That is not allowed in Islam, unlike in the West. When you adopt a child, automatically the child bears the name of the adoptive father.
Okay.
But Islam says no, that they should still bear their family name, so that their lineage can be traced.
That's good.
They should still bear their family name, because there was an instance in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There was a case of a companion by name Zaid bin Haritha.
Okay.
He was a slave given to the Prophet sallallahu by Khadija. The Prophet sallallahu was so fond of Zaid because he was very close to him. He was like a son to the Prophet sallallahu, such that at a stage he was being referred to as Zaid ibn Muhammad. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to reform that concept, because that was actually the way it was practiced in Arabia before Islam. Once you have an adopted son, he automatically becomes your
name.
He automatically bears your family name.
Okay.
But as a way of reforming that concept, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed a verse in Surah Al-Ahzab. Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 5. That's chapter 33, verse 5. Wherein Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, God has not made your adopted sons your sons. Such is only your manner of speech by your mouth. But God tells you the truth and shows the right way. Call them by the names of their fathers. That is better for them. That is better in sight of God. But if you know not their father's name, call them your brothers in faith or your slaves. So it's from this verse that it becomes very clear that the adopted son should be addressed with their family name, so that they can keep to their lineage, so that their lineage will not be forgotten.
Okay. Does the same thing apply to a woman who probably lost her husband and gets married to another man? Will the child that she has, lost the father of a child, and she gets married to another man, the child that she has for the man who is now dead, will the child too have to continue bearing the name of his father or the new husband to his mother?
No, the child will continue with the name of his real father.
His real father, okay.
Because Islam wants to preserve everybody's lineage.
Okay.
It's a very important factor. Because if one of the reforms that Islam has brought to that concept is that if a child changes his family name, there is that high probability, especially if the child is adopted at an infant age, there is that high probability that he may not be able to trace his lineage, and he may even end up marrying from his own siblings
without knowing,
because he doesn't know. So he may end up marrying from his own siblings, which is not allowed in Islam. So as a way of making everybody preserve his own blood ties, Islam says the fact that one is adopted does not mean you should change your family name. That should remain. The another area is the issue of inheritance.
Okay.
An adopted child still have right to inherit his own real parents.
Okay.
Unlike in the West, what is the practice in the West is that is the adoptive father that the adopted son can inherit.
So from the West perspective, he doesn't have a right to inherit his own father. Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's the adoptive father that is recognized
As
as
his
his father
now, since he bears the name in their own.
That is it. So, but Islam says no.
Alright.
He should still remain a heir to his own real father,
Okay.
not the adoptive father. The only thing that is allowed as for the adoptive father is he is allowed to write maybe like 1/3 of his estate for the adopted son in case he wants to give out from his properties to the adopted son. He can do so up to 1/3 of his estate.
Not more than that.
Not more than that.
Okay.
Then another area where Islam differs from the West is that Islam preserves their identity by blood lineage. That is, the real parents should not be hidden to the adopted son. The fact that he's living with another family, maybe as a result of his becoming an orphan, because somebody can become an orphan and that will make him to be adopted by another family. So the fact that he is now in another family does not make him to forget or then does not make his own lineage to become hidden. He should still be able to trace himself to his lineage.
Okay. Aside from these criteria of inheritance and the change of name that Islam has put in place, are there some other things that the adopted child does not have rights to?
Now, like the issue of mahram.
Okay.
As an adopted child, when you live in a new family, you still have to maintain that concept of being a mahram to your own family, in which case is like a non-mahram to the new family is living.
Okay.
For instance, if she is a girl,
okay,
she may have to observe hijab
for the new father.
For the new father and the grown-up sons in the house.
Okay.
And that will not apply to our own real family. As in our own real father and siblings.
That's true.
It will still remain their mahram. But for the new family that is living with, she will have to observe the rule of hijab because they are not our real family members. This does not mean that there is, because some people will say in Islam there is no adoption, there is no child adoption.
Okay.
Islam operates child adoption, but with moderation.
Okay.
And the moderation have their own essence. There are beautiful reasons behind them. And that's what I've tried to mention the other time, that
that's true, indeed.
You really have to be able to trace back your lineage. You must be able to identify with your real family. The fact that you have become an adopted son or daughter does not separate you from your real origin. These are things that Islam really wants to preserve in human race.
Okay. Then another thing I want to ask is, now that the adopted child is living with the new family, is it permissible for such a child to marry from her new family? Because of course they are not blood related. Is it allowed Islamically for her to marry, or for him to marry any of the children of the new family she is?
Yes, it is allowed because they are not really from the same background. They are not from the same family or blood ties relationship. It's just adoption that brings them together to live as a family. So as a result, he or she can marry from that adoptive family
Okay.
But he or she cannot marry from his own real family.
Okay. Thank you very much for all those answers. Really, I know that child adoption is a very sensitive issue in the society, and at this point in time, it calls for discussion, because most times we tend to mix it up. We tend to assume that so long as the child lives with the family, she's also a member of the family. And I really want to appreciate the fact that you have brought out those things that Islam really wants us to take care of. But there's still another aspect to child adoption. How about in such a case that the child who was adopted wasn't actually released out of the free will of the parents? We have several cases like that. So I don't know if you really understand, but just before you answer the question, let's take this short break. Viewers, join us after this short break. We'll be back soon.
ولا تقربوا الزنا إنه كان فاحشة وساء سبيلا ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا وأوفوا الكيل إذا كلتم وزنوا بالقسطاس المستقيم ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا ولا تمش في الأرض مرحا إنك لن تخرق الأرض ولن تبلغ الجبال طولا كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها.
Welcome aboard. It's still your program, The Virtuous Woman, and today we are talking about child adoption. And if you're just joining us, you haven't missed a lot. You're still just on track. It's been time out with Haji Akudra Mahmoud. I was about asking a question the other time. I said, there are some times that the process of adoption, I know that in Islam we are encouraged to take track of any transaction, any form of agreement. What I'm trying to say now is, when it comes to the issue of child adoption, is there any way to which an agreement is reached? For instance, now I know that when it comes to the Western way, the way it's done, you really have to fill some documents and all of that to make it legal that you are the one now in custody of this child. In Islam, are there such arrangements, or it's just by word of mouth? Okay, this child can be with you. We release her to you, or there are some things that has to be done before a child gets adopted into the family.
Alhamdulillah, on that, if one wants to adopt a child,
Okay.
it means you have decided to take up the responsibility of caring for that child as you would do for your son or daughters.
Yes.
And you know, in Islam places much importance on taking care of the orphans and the poor ones. And this is where the issue of adoption in Islam actually comes in. People who are orphans in the society, or those children that do not have people to take care of them, maybe from children from very poor backgrounds. So as Muslim philanthropists, you can decide to take care of such children under your own care, at least to the time that they will become matured and they can be able to stand on their own. So when you are ready to do this, you take it as a promise that you have taken with Allah, as a covenant that you have taken with Allah, that you have signed with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do. And along the way, you should not uh, uh, like it should not be a case of I'm tired of this responsibility, because it's something that you really have to think about before going into it, because you want to play the role of a caregiver, of a father, and you really have to play it till the end. So that is the implication. And when you are doing that, you know behind your mind that Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will reward you, because you are actually fulfilling one of those obligations in Islam, that we should take care of the orphans and the poor ones in the society.
Okay.
So you know that even if you have no reward from any other source, your reward is ascertained with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma. Now I want us to dwell a bit on the reasons for adoption. I want to ask, to be straight with it now, is the decision of a woman not to give birth, is it enough a reason for adoption? I don't want to, the pain is probably too much. I don't want to, in fact, I don't have time to be carrying pregnancy about. I'll just rather adopt. It's a good thing, of course, Islam encourages us so that we can take care of the orphans. But I'm trying to say the decision of a woman, that unilateral decision that I don't want to bear the burden of, I'll just rather adopt a child, is it reason enough for adoption?
In Islam, that is never a reason, because Islam wants us to take responsibilities, especially as mothers. It's part of our duties as mothers that we should raise the future generation. And for somebody to decide, maybe as a result of civilization or whatever, that you want to be free of such obligations, and you think the next thing is to go to a place and adopt a child, it's not allowed in Islam. Any woman that is in the childbearing age should do so, should go into marriage. Islam encourages marriages for those who have reached the age.
Okay.
You have to get married. There is no celibacy in Islam. There is no mistress in Islam. I want to live as a single parent, or I don't want to bear any child so that I can escape the pains of labor. These are not reasons. These are alien thoughts to Islam. So as women, we have to be alive to our responsibilities of being mothers.
Okay. Okay.
When it is time, when you are ripe for marriage, make sure you get married.
Okay.
And don't run away from responsibilities of marriage. Don't follow these alien thoughts that people want to get freedom from everything. They want to live life free of stress. They want to live life free of responsibilities, because they consider responsibilities as stress.
They see it as burdensome.
As burden, yes, as too burdensome on them. And if somebody should decide that is against Islam, Islam doesn't allow such way of thinking. So you bear your own children if Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gives you, and make sure you nurture them. Take proper care of them. Let them grow very well and develop. Give them the necessary training so that they can be good ambassadors of Islam anywhere they find themselves.
Thank you very much for that concluding aspect. Taking care of these children so that they can be good ambassadors for Islam. Let me use this time out to reach out to the adopted children out there. I think on this program, we want to be able to give a sense of belonging to everybody, irrespective of who you are at all. If you're an adopted child, don't feel discriminated. Don't feel that you cannot achieve great feats like others are achieving. And for the adoptive parents, it's up to you for you to know that it's an amana. It's a trust on you, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala would ask you. For those of you who are not Muslim, Islam wants to reach out of the love and the humility that comes with it. It wants to reach out to every ear, to every heart. So it means that treat these adopted children like your own children. Cater for their needs like you have promised to do so. And remember that you never know what child will be left to take care of you when you are old. Don't relegate these children to the background. And don't ever believe that they might not be up to what your children would have achieved. And on this program, The Virtuous Woman, like we all say, Islam is comprehensive. It talks about everything and anything at all. So if you're still in doubt, ask from people who know. And when you know, learn to imbibe them. On this program, it's been Time Out with Hadia Kudra Mahmoud, and I do not doubt that you have really enjoyed your time with us. Join us on this station, same time tomorrow. And please do not forget, we always say Muslims say no to violence. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, ma'am. Join us tomorrow and do not miss it.
Today you become man and wife, fulfilling the sunnah as way of life. Today you find serenity, may your life be filled with sincerity. There is no happier day in your life than the virtue of being man and wife. There's joy without any end, Allah's blessing